But you are going to be given a chance to stand. And I want you to know that in many ways, many people will say, why are you talking about Israel with everything else that is going on in the world? How could you possibly be caring about that when our oil is costing us so much for gas, when we don't have jobs, when we don't have this? Well, I will tell you, I believe that Jerusalem is the beginning of the end for man's freedom. It is the end game. If Israel is forced to give up Jerusalem, it will be over for freedom in the world. And I will explain that over the coming days. It's quite a statement, but I believe it to be true. As I had these amazing meetings that were never supposed to happen, I got onto the plane, and honestly, I said when we were in the airport, I don't know if any of this is going to happen. And it was miracle after miracle after miracle. And as I met with people and I said to them, this is what I plan on doing, this is what I think is coming, and I brought along a few people, and one of them was a skeptic. One of them was, Glenn, I think you're wrong, and you can't do this. You just can't pull this off. Halfway through, he said, I've never seen anything like this before. He's not a religious guy, per se. I mean, he's a spiritual guy, believes in God and everything else, but he's not a guy who believes in miracles as I do. And he said, I can't believe this. And he said, everything that I thought the reasons why it shouldn't happen are exactly the reasons why it should. And I don't even think I'm just at the beginning of understanding. And I said, so am I. So am I. I'm just beginning to see the outlines of why this is so important. I get on the plane, and I read this headline in the paper. Now, this is the English edition of an Israeli paper. It says right here, Israel must present two-state plan or prepare for violence, J Street warns. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must present a concrete plan for a two-state solution to Congress this month or face a prospect of fresh violence. Now, this is the head of J Street. Does anybody remember what J Street is? J Street is an organization that definitely does not take any money from George Soros. None. Doesn't take it. Doesn't take it. Until I think the story was somebody hacked into their files and released them and showed that, yes, indeed, they take a ton of money from George Soros. And then they said, well, that's not very much money. And then it came out that it was 60% of their money was coming from George Soros. That's who J Street is. Two-state solution. What does that mean? Just go back to 1948. Just go back. What? That means they lose Jerusalem. If you lose Jerusalem, look, let me just say this, and then we'll move on today. All of the major religions in the world, Muslim, Christian, Judaism, all three of them center in Jerusalem. All three of them. They are all tied directly to the Temple Mount. The Mount of Olives, the death and crucifixion, the ministry of Jesus, the assumption, I guess you would call it, of Muhammad, the temple of the Jews, all the way back to Abraham. This is where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, there on that rock, all the way back to the creation of the earth. They say that what the temple, Dome of the Rock, do you know what the rock is? It's where the hoof print last left with Muhammad to go up into the clouds, into heaven. But that rock is called the creation stone. It is believed by two of the three religions to be the rock of creation, where the first thing God made was that rock. and it's about to fall into the hands of the Muslim clerics of the Middle East. And we see how well that's going now. They attacked the World Trade Center for a reason. What was it? It was a symbol of our monetary power. The next target was the Pentagon. Why did they attack the Pentagon? Because it was a symbol of our power. The last one to attack is Jerusalem. It is the symbol of so much power. It is not their most sacred site. It is a sacred site and the root of all of us. It cannot be lost. It cannot be lost.
Not an Insider Extreme member yet? What are you waiting for? Sign up today at glennbeck.com/extreme.